making headlines tonight. The Cambodia-China Friendship Bridge connecting Kampong Cham and Tibong Khmer provinces has finally been inaugurated after months of delay due to COVID-19. The Ministry of Social Affairs, Veterans and Youth Rehabilitation has started gender equality training, courses aimed at helping women in crisis and persons with disability. Cambodian team wins International Animation Festival, Digicon 6 Asia in Japan. And a Land Cruiser made of 440,000 pieces of Lego bricks turns heads in Dubai. This is the Daily Roundup on the EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. My name is Paolo Bonini. After months of delay due to COVID-19, the Cambodia-China Friendship Bridge has finally been inaugurated on Tuesday. Prime Minister Hun Sen has led the inauguration ceremony with Chinese Ambassador to Cambodia, Wang Wengtian, present, representing the Chinese government. The Cambodian Prime Minister calls the Cambodia-China Friendship Bridge as a bridge of destiny. EAC News reporter Ria Soka has the story.
The bridge connects Tang Trang district of Kampong Cham province to Koch Sumar of the Bung Khmer province. Prime Minister says that it does not only connect the two provinces, but also the people, and the most of all, connects two countries, China and Cambodia. The Prime Minister calls the Cambodia-China Friendship Bridge as Bridge of Destiny. He says that it also connects him and his wife, Bonrani Hun Sen. He even encouraged couples planning to get married to make their prenup photo shoot at the Cambodia-China Friendship Bridge. The bridge crossing the Mekong River took 3 years in the making, funded by the Chinese government with a worth of $57 million. According to the Prime Minister, it's the 10th bridge built in Cambodia with the aid of China, and there are more infrastructure coming in Cambodia with the help of the Chinese government. Chinese Ambassador to Cambodia Wang Wengtian says that the newly inaugurated bridge connects the hearts of Cambodia and China. He says it will surely boost the tourism and socio-economic recovery of the kingdom. Ambassador Wang Wengtian has also said that China and Cambodia's relationship is a good example of international cooperation in the middle of a pandemic. Prime Minister Hun Sen has expressed huge gratitude to China, calling it as a Cambodia's friend. He says this is the result of the great effort of the royal government prioritizing the people, making sure there are roads, bridges and schools.
អតិភិបនៃនយោបាយរបស់ខ្ញុំគឺធ្វើម៉េចឲ្យប្រជាជនមានផ្លូវដើរមានស្ពានឆ្លងមានមន្ទីរពេទ្យមានសាលារៀនហើយចំណុចនេះខ្ញុំបានរំលឹកជាញឹកញាប់ពាក្យដែលថាបែងចែកផ្លែផ្កានៃកំណើនសេដ្ឋកិច្ចប្រកបដោយសមធម៌ល្អជាងគេគឺប្រើប្រាស់ធនធានដែលបានមកពីកំណើនសេដ្ឋកិច្ចរបស់កម្ពុជាឬក៏ការជំនួយពីបរទេសនិងកម្ចីពីបរទេសយកមកប្រើប្រាស់កសាងហេដ្ឋារចនាសម្ព័ន្ធគឺនឹងសមធម៌ជាងគេ
Apart from the inauguration ceremony, a groundbreaking was also made for the construction of National Road 71C, connecting Tubong district of the Bung Khmer province to Chamkarlu district in Kampong Cham province. The Prime Minister has recalled the years during civil war, saying it has prevented the country's development. But he stressed that the past is all over and that the Cambodian leaders, including him, have sacrificed their lives to save the country and to achieve peace. On Monday, a plane carrying medical supplies from the Chinese Ministry of Defense has arrived in Phnom Penh International Airport. The medical supplies were received by the Cambodian Ministry of National Defense to be used for the prevention of the spread of COVID-19. Reyes Soko, EAC News.
The Minister of Post and Telecommunications, Chair Van Date, has led a Cambodian delegation visiting South Korean officials last week to strengthen the digital cooperation between the two countries. The visit was in response to the invitation of the Minister of Science and Communications Technology and Information of the Republic of Korea, Lim Hee-suk. The two officials have discussed on the future of digital technology. Among the topics discussed is the development of 5G network, cloud technology, artificial intelligence, and data analysis to enhance the digital technology to be more efficient and faster. The Cambodian delegation has also met with the head of Korean National Information Society Agency, Moon Young-suk, to discuss digital government cooperation between the two institutions, such as sharing the experience of implementing digital government policy, Digital Government Cooperation Center, and Human Resources Development. They also made a visit to Korea Educational Broadcasting System to promote the successful implementation of Republic of Korea's non-compensation aid project on the preparation and operation of Cambodia's educational media. The Ministry of Social Affairs, Veterans and Youth Rehabilitation has started the Gender Equality Training Course on Tuesday. The two-day training course is aimed at helping women in crisis, demonstrating the royal government's commitment to gender equality, including persons with disabilities. EAC News reporter Dashani Gochan has the story.
Speaking on behalf of the Minister, Mosfi Secretary of State M. Chan Makara says the current training reflects the continued commitment of the ministries, institutions, and partner organizations to address gender equality and recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. He has commended the collaborative effort made by the General Secretariat of the Disability Action Council, the Social Welfare Department of the Ministry of Social Affairs, and Cambodian organizations that support women in crises to organize this important training course.
We are currently facing two of the biggest challenges of our generation. First, the epidemic of COVID-19 and its aftermath, and second, the ongoing climate change crisis. Both of these crises are that women are disproportionately affected. Since the early stages of the COVID-19 pandemic, the royal government of Cambodia, under the wise leadership of Prime Minister Hun Sen, has responded effectively in providing emergency assistance, order urgent medical equipment and supplies, including rapid test kits, the provision of COVID-19 vaccine, treatment, and ensure a public health management system for all people, especially pregnant women and girls with disabilities.
M. Chan Makara stresses that the burden of unpaid work falls on the shoulders of women. He has revealed that 59% of women reported spending more time on household chores since the COVID-19 outbreak began. He says these women are facing 2/3 of all job losses and has added that the most affected are young women who raise young children. M. Chan Makara has also expressed deep gratitude to the Australian government through the Australian Embassy in Cambodia for establishing the Australia-Cambodia Cooperation for Sustainable and Equitable Services program, which implements both gender and disability programs in the country with remarkable success. He has emphasized that the Ministry of Social Affairs remains fully committed to helping achieve the ambitious Sustainable Development Goals, including gender equality, reproductive health issues, women's leadership, and strengthening women's resilience through social protection. Darshana Gochan, EAC News.
A Cambodian team has won an award at the Digicon 6 Asia this year, an event held online and organized in Japan. The Cambodian animation titled The Soup won the Rising Star category, telling an emotional story involving memories and food. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko had an interview with one of the co-creators of the Soup animation, who explained more about the story and its production.
Cambodian has been nominated at the Digicon Asia before, but that's the first time the kingdom has won the international award. The Cambodian production titled The Soup has competed with other Asian countries such as China, India, Indonesia, Korea, Laos, Malaysia, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Taiwan, Thailand, Uzbekistan, and Hong Kong. It has been carefully approved by judges from Japan, Korea, and America. Ir Ui was one of the co-creators of The Soup. He has spoken with EAC News, sharing the background story of his animation.
Our film is called The Soup. it's a short emotional animation, which showing an old man is getting his memory is getting worse and he start forgetting things, and he started forgetting his wife. But later on, he tastes of a soup, and then his memories start coming back of what happened before. So it's a reminder of what he's been through this soup that he used to drink, like to eat before with his wife.
The producer told the animation process was faster than the other ones they have made.
It took us 1 month to create a whole story. So it's actually, if you compare this to other animation process, it's quite fast, because in the beginning of this production, we already have the characters, the way we set up characters, and the process of creating new character is set in place to make sure that production of this type of animation that we do will be faster than the normal process of animation.
But Ir Uy has shared with EAC News that although the production of the characters was fast, the storytelling and the sound effects were a challenge.
So the hardest thing of this type of animation, because it's very emotional, and the main thing about this animation is the character doesn't talk. Everything is shown by action. So we have to find a way to convey the message through their actions. So the storytelling is quite the hardest, to find the angle that showing that the old man is getting his memory lost, and how to bring back the memory by all showing, no talking. And with this type of animation, emotional one, the other hardest thing is the sound effects. We have to show the emotion through sounds. And for us, we are not like a sound producer, but producing studio. So it is quite difficult to find the good sound to fit for this type of animation that we make. Yeah. So these are the two hardest parts for us.
The award was announced on Saturday at the Marunouchi Hall in Tokyo and streamed online. The soup animation can be found at the production's Facebook page called Teen Yearn. Yuri Matosko, EAC News.
Cambodia's daily COVID-19 numbers remain in the 30s for 2 days in a row. This shows that the new normal has been successfully achieved. As of Tuesday, only 39 new cases were recorded. That includes 6 imported cases. Cambodia has now a tally of 119,943. 34 patients were successfully treated and dispatched overnight. They make the total recovery 116,320. But unfortunately, there are still deaths being recorded, despite the high vaccination rate in the country. 4 people lost their lives due to COVID-19. The total death tally now stands at 2,909. The kingdom's active cases are just 714. Cambodia will host the 13th Asia-Europe meeting from Thursday to Friday. As a cultural side event, the Ministry of Culture, in partnership with the European Union and the Asia-Europe Foundation, the ASEM Cultural Festival is being held starting on Monday. The Cultural Festival is aimed to celebrate the cultural diversity and artistic exchange between Asia and Europe. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko has more.
Starting Monday, online performances are being shown through the official website of the Asia-Europe meeting promoting cultural diversities. Artistic photographs and paintings are being exhibited at the Kingdom's National Museum. Under the theme Enhancing Asian Partnerships Through Arts and Culture, the festival aims to promote people-to-people connectivity between Asia and Europe in the fields of arts and culture. Over 30 events will feature 100 Asian and European artists, showcasing the rich cultural diversity from Asia and Europe through theater, dance, music, visual arts, and interdisciplinary presentations. The opening event on Monday presents a special presentation titled Colorful Cambodia, with performances that includes the blessing dance as a traditional way to welcome guests. The program also showcases a folk dance depicting the traditional ceremony of rice planting and harvesting, a Khmer contemporary dance portraying a dynamic and positive drive of Cambodian youth, and a performance piece highlighting Asia-Europe partnerships along with the Asian flags dance. Besides performances that can be viewed at the Asian Cultural Festival website, there are also 4 films screening at the major Cineplex in Phnom Penh. At the same time, a curtain raiser offering a slice of the festival is being shown live to audiences in Brussels and Belgium between the 15th and 26th of November. The Asian Cultural Festivals takes place annually on the sidelines of Asian Summits or Foreign Ministers Meeting as one of the official site's events. 3 Asian and 3 European artists have worked together in this exhibition at the Asian Cultural Festival of this year. They showcase European and Asian partnerships beyond the ministers' meeting at the ASEM 13, exploring cultural and artistic opportunities. Yuri Matosko, EAC News, National Museum, Phnom Penh.
Cambodia has started the 4th Asia-Europe Foundation Young Leaders Summit on Monday. The virtual summit, headlined as Sustainable Development in a Post-COVID-19 World, is attended by young people from Asia and Europe, talking about multilateralism and collective growth. President of Asian Youth Council and Union of Youth Federations of Cambodia, Hun Meni, says the main theme of the event is to represent the true situation of the global challenges amid the COVID-19. EAC news reporter Dashani Gochan has the story.
The 4th Asia-Europe Foundation Young Leaders Summit connects young leaders of Asia and Europe to continue to discuss the common vision together to contribute to the sustainable development for the future of the nations. President of Asian Youth Council and Union of Youth Federations of Cambodia, Hun Mani, has stressed that this is an opportunity for all participating youths from Asia and Europe to talk about multilateralism and collective growth under a strong commitment to youth's involvement around the world, both within the family framework of the Union of Youth Federations of Cambodia and the Asian Youth Council. Hun Mani is also the chairman of the National Assembly's Commission on Education, Youth, Sports, Cults, Religious Affairs, Culture, and Tourism. During the launching, he has proudly shared Cambodia's experience in dealing with COVID-19 pandemic. He says the pandemic will not affect the discussion and cooperation to cope with it and its impacts. Last Thursday, Hun Mani led a tree planting ceremony called Trees of Solidarity Planted for Youth of Asia-Europe in front of Angkor Wat Temple in Siem Reap Province, attended by Cambodian youth leaders, government officials, and members of the ASEM Diplomatic Corps. Darshana Gochan, EAC News.
The 11 suspects involved in a shootout with police authorities on Saturday in Bante Minche have been charged in court. Around 30 people, including Thai nationals, started a fight in a bar opposite a casino in Poi Phet. The fight wounded 3 police officers who intervened between the 2 rival groups, believed to be Cambodians and Thai gangsters. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko has the latest.
The suspects were violently throwing glasses bottles on each other, which led the Poi Phet city gendarmerie to intervene. But the suspects stubbornly continued to fight, even shooting with pistols towards the authorities. On Monday afternoon, some of the perpetrators were detained and sent to court. The violent bar fight at Phuket City caused 3 militaries to be hurt, one seriously wounded near the mouth. Since then, a crackdown force started around the city to find all suspects involved at the shootout. The manhunt is being led by prosecutor of the provincial court, Kud Vatanaret, who has already arrested 11 perpetrators. Cars and knives were confiscated and will be sent to Phuket military police base for further investigation. Brigadier General Born Bin says that after being interrogated by police forces, the 11 detained offenders confessed there were a total of 20 people participated in the fights. The Phuket military police has been searching for the rest of suspects, while the Thai criminals have fled to Thailand, escaping the Cambodian forces. If the detained suspects were proved to be guilty, they will have to face 2 to 5 years in jail under the crime of intentional violence with aggravating circumstances. Yuri Matosco, EAC News.
Vendors from Bangkok Market in Battambang have made a further protest, asking authorities to allow them to continue selling at the same location. This was following a relocation notice from the provincial administrator. Protesters claim that some of the vendors have been trading at the market for decades and that they would like the provincial governor to hear their appeal. EAC News reporter Dashani Gochan has the story.
A group of nearly 100 Bangkok market vendors representing more than 500 sellers gathered in front of the Battambang Provincial Hall on Monday. They are protesting against their eviction from the market amidst plans for its demolition. The vendors called for the provincial governor Sokluk and parliamentary member representing Battambang province Chan Sopal to heed their request to continue selling at the same market area where some have been trading for over 20 years. The vendors reported they were displeased by the relocation notice, asking them to pack up their stalls and move to a new area, which is smaller and offers less opportunity of sales that cannot sustain their livelihoods. After the protest had been underway for a while, officials from the Battambang Provincial Administrative Authority sent 5 business representatives to speak to the vendors and mediate a solution. However, the vendors did not want to speak with them and instead requested a direct audience with the provincial governor Soklu, as they said that previous meetings of the same kind did not get them the results they asked for. The deputy governor Yum Siep intervened and asked the vendors to return home, as Governor Soklu was away on duty and would only be able to meet with them until the next day. The vendors agreed to disperse for the day and now await their meeting with Governor Soklu on Tuesday. Darshana Gochan, EAC News.
Filipino President Rodrigo Duterte, in a rare public rebuke of China, has expressed abhorrence and grave concern on Monday during the Asean-China summit. This was in response to last week's firing of a water cannon by Chinese Coast Guard ships at Filipino supply boats in the South China Sea. It happened near a grounded World War II-era warship that serves as an outpost. He says South China Sea issues should not be solved by force.
We abhor the recent event in the Yunnan Shoal and view with grave concern other similar development. This does not speak well of the relations between our nations and partnership.
The Philippine president says that China must remain committed to the early conclusion of the effective and substantive code of conduct in the South China Sea. He said he's simply no other way out of this colossal problem but the rule of law. The Philippines president's words were unusually strong because of Duterte, whose terms end next year, has pursued closer ties with China since taking office in the mid-2016. China's assertion of sovereignty over the South China Sea has set against ASEAN members Vietnam and the Philippines, while Brunei, Taiwan and Malaysia also lay claim to parts. The European Union, meanwhile, was among the latest to hit out at China for using a water cannon against Filipino resupply boats in disputed waters. A statement issued by the EU over the weekend followed similar condemnation from the United States. Chinese President Xi Jinping has told leaders of the 10-country ASEAN at the summit on Monday that Beijing would not bully its smaller regional neighbours, amid rising tension over the South China Sea. The virtual summit hosted by President Xi Jinping without a representative for Myanmar, this is the second time in a month that ASEAN has excluded Myanmar's Commander-in-Chief Min Aung Hlaing from a regional summit. Now for a look at news making international headlines this Tuesday, 23rd of November.
It's like the movie Gone in 60 Seconds. California cops on hunt for 80 looters in ski masks who ransacked Bay Area Nordstrom and filled 25 cars with designer goods in 1-minute raid. It was a coordinated mass robbery in Walnut Creek, happened around 9 p.m. Saturday night. Witnesses say the large group has raided the Bay Area store in under a minute. 2 employees were attacked by looters who punched and kicked them while another was pepper sprayed. All 3 were treated for their injuries on scene. The perpetrators then fled in multiple vehicles that were waiting for them outside. Officers were able to stop one of the vehicles, arresting 2 people. A third person was found nearby on foot and taken into custody. One of the suspects was carrying a firearm. The robbery followed another brazen mob heist of high-end stores on Friday night in San Francisco's Union Square, about 40 kilometers to the west.
A chaotic scene has erupted on Sunday afternoon at the Voskirche Christmas parade as a person in an SUV drove through a barricade, leaving more than 40 people injured, some dead and others running in panic to escape the area. The parade, which runs through Main Street in downtown Voskirche, started at 4 p.m. It appeared to be running as normal until the parade turned into a tragedy before 5 p.m. Witnesses recalled that the USV Strike, a marching band, hit a dance team of girls between 9 and 15 years old. The immediate reaction was silence, followed by screaming, running, and checking on those injured. The driver also hit a group of dancing grannies, and at least one person flipped over the hood of the SUV. A 39-year-old Wisconsin man named Darrell E. Brooks was arrested shortly after the collisions and accused of driving an SUV into the crowds. He was booked of 5 counts of intentional homicide according to the report from Voskirche Police Chief. City officials have identified the woman and a man who were killed: 79-year-old Virginia Sorensen, 71-year-old Leanna Wilven, 52-year-old Tamara Durant, and 81-year-old Wilhelm Hospital. There were 48 additional injuries, including 2 children who are in critical condition. Witnesses have claimed that they saw Brooks intentionally drove his maroon SUV through barricades and into a crowd of people at around 4:40 p.m. The PM was found out to be in a domestic incident involving a knife before the crash. An officer has opened fire on the SUV but quickly stopped the shooting because there were many people nearby.
And a German NGO ship Sea-Watch 4 carrying 482 migrants until now waiting to be assigned a port on Monday after 7 rescue operations carried out in the Mediterranean Sea. The ship's crew members have rescued 90 migrants from an overcrowded wooden boat off the coast of Lampedusa and 6 other migrants who, according to Sea-Watch, have jumped into the sea from a Libyan Coast Guard patrol boat. Sea-Watch 4 has asked Italian authorities a port of safety for the migrants on board, including 17 pregnant women and 148 minors. A sharp increase in both migrants in recent weeks and the latest mass arrivals will put further pressure on Italy's Prime Minister Mario Draghi's government to secure an agreement with European Union partners over how to deal with the influx. Based from the report of the Interior Ministry data, there are more than 60,000 migrants have disembarked in Italy this year, up from 32,476 in the same period in 2020.
After the break, a look at all the latest sports news.
EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, 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 wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. EAC News' audience is growing. Our YouTube channel has over 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube. It's given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates EAC News' hard work and incredible achievement. She says we brought a unique voice and style to the world, but have also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to YouTube and search for EAC News. Subscribers get alerts when the Daily Roundup is premiering and live events are streaming. Get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. The EAC News channel on YouTube. Cambodia made clear. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear.
Cambodia has become the official host of the Asian Youth Games 2029. The kingdom has signed for the hosting rights in Dubai on Sunday. It was announced by the Secretary of State at the Ministry of Tourism and Secretary General of the National Olympic Committee of Cambodia, Vat Chumran. Vat Chumran says that Cambodia is very proud to get the official rights to host the 5th Asian Youth Games in 2029. During the Olympic Council of Asia General Assembly in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. OCA General Assembly was participated by 45 Asian countries, including Cambodia. Minister of Tourism Town Kun and Phnom Penh Governor Khao Sreng have led the Cambodian sports delegation in Dubai. They left the country last Saturday to plan the road ahead for international sports events. Vat Chumran has thanked the royal government and the people of Cambodia for their support for the sports sector, as well as their contribution to boosting socio-development for the country. Bayern Munich player Leroy Sane on Monday weighed in on the vaccine saga plaguing the Munich club. He says he was vaccinated himself and stood for it, but that he respected his teammates' choices. The German champions say that 4 more Bayern Munich players went into quarantine after coming into contact with a COVID-19 infected person on Sunday.
Ja, na klar, im Endeffekt bin ich
Yes, of course. At the end of the day, I am for it. And I am one of those who are vaccinated. I stand for it too, and I have talked about it. At the end of the day, I actually want them to be in the squad, to be on the pitch with us and to be able to help us. These are important games. They are good players for us. No matter who is still missing from the others, we as a team would like to have them with us, of course. That is out of the question. But in the end of the day, of course, I respect their decision.
Natürlich respektiere ich auch deren Entscheidung.
The Bavarians, who suffered a 2-1 shock loss to Augsburg on Friday and played Dynamo Kiev in the Champions League on Tuesday, will be without Serge Gnabry, Jamal Musiala, Eric Choupo-Moting and Michael Kosange. Bayern already assured of progressing to the next stage of the Champions League. Bayern were without defender Nicolas Süle until a few days ago after he tested positive, while fellow defender Josef Stanisic and a staff member went into quarantine earlier this week. Midfielder Jose Kimmich is also in isolation for the second straight week, following contact with an infected person. Kimmich has publicly refused to get vaccinated. He says he has concerns over the potential long-term effects. Trainer Julian Nagelsmann responded to news reports in German media that unvaccinated players would get their pay docked if they needed to be quarantined, saying that he was not happy about the league.
Diese Störgeräusche, die gehören ein Stück weit.
We don't have this pressure on the result that you always have as Bayern Munich in every game, and we can basically also do the things that we maybe didn't do well in Augsburg or in the weeks before. We can also implement individual things that didn't work so well and simply take the steps. Of course, with slightly different personnel, but we still have a very good team on the pitch. Despite 8 absentees, you have to be honest. Of course, we no longer have these mega offensive alternatives on the bench because a few of them have already dropped out. Now they are out. But it's not as if we are not arriving with some terrible team, but still a very good team.
Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel will take a late call on striker Lukaku for Tuesday's Championship League home game against Juventus, but said on Monday the midfielder Jorginho was fit after coming off against Leicester City at the weekend.
Romelu Lukaku has not featured since injuring his ankle in their 4-0 home win against Malmo last month, but was expected to return to action against the Italians on Tuesday. Holders Chelsea, who were beaten in the reverse fixture in September, trail group leaders Juventus by 3 points after 4 games in Group H. The London side need to avoid defeat at Stamford Bridge to confirm their place in the round of 16.
Well, firstly and foremost, we do what we do. When we play football games, we try to win them. This is what we do, and this will not change. Okay, later in the game, if there is if the score sheet is a draw, we will maybe not allow Edumendi to go into opponent's box when we have a late corner, because we will not risk our qualification and go all in if the situation is like this. But until this moment, we will try everything to win the game and have a chance to win the group. And for this, we have to win the game.
The German, however, said he had enough options to make up for the absence of the Belgian international, especially with forward Timo Werner back in the squad after a lengthy spell on the sidelines.
Winter sports have been gaining popularity across China in recent years, with the upcoming Beijing Winter Olympics fueling a passion for ice and snow activities amongst those young and old. For many, partaking in the joys of winter sports has become a majority part of their lives and brought a host of new opportunities. According to a report from China Tourism Academy earlier this year, Chinese tourists made 230 million trips featuring ice and snow in the 2021 winter season. generating more than 60 billion in revenue, highlighting just how big the industry has become. Among those who have unlocked a newfound source of enjoyment is proud dad, Dong Yasun, who has been able to form a special bond with his son through ice hockey. The father picked up the pastime years ago when accompanying his son to ice hockey classes. The father-son duo now spends their weekends together on the ice rink.
Since we have the same hobby, we have more to share.
After I started skiing, my appetite gets better and I always sleep well. I have also made a lot of friends with whom I have a lot to share with. Now my skills get better. When I am praised by the others, I feel so happy.
After Beijing won its bid to host the 2022 Winter Olympics in 2015, winter sports competitions have become more common, and the demand for referees grew significantly in China. Amid the wave of Winter Olympic fever, China has set a goal of engaging 300 million people in winter sports, with hundreds of new facilities being built across the country in recent years, and some 2,000 primary and secondary schools including winter sports in their curriculum by the end of 2020. Now let's have a look at the weather and see what you can expect for tomorrow. And finally, a Toyota Land Cruiser is turning heads in Dubai, and not on the city's dunes this time. It is a model made of 440,000 Lego bricks.
The project has kicked off a couple of months ago, just as the kind of crazy marketing idea. Alpha Time Toyota have commissioned the Lego team to build a shape of a Land Cruiser made of 440,000 pieces of bricks, 16 different kinds of Lego bricks, and collectively weighs 2,050 kilograms. It took a team of 12 people, around 2,700 hours to build what is an iconic car.
This year we've launched a brand new Land Cruiser here in the UAE. It's a car that's really part of the DNA and the fabric of the community here. And what better way to celebrate such an iconic new vehicle with something that's so much fun? So we've commissioned this amazing 440,000 Lego bricks to be formed into the shape of a new Land Cruiser. It's on display, it's going to tour the country over the next 12 months and just bring some fun and engagement to what is a truly iconic brand.
Land Cruiser has a place in the heart of everyone who lives in the UAE. It's part of the way that they do their everyday business, but it's the way they travel through desert, the way they engage. They run the family life and fun at the same time. The managing director of Alpha Time Toyota, Andy Barat, says that the project will inspire a number of things. 1. It will allow people to reconnect back to Toyota and Alpha Time in the UAE. It brings an element of fun and brand engagement and shows that Toyota builds not only dependable, quality, reliable cars, but also can have fun at the same time, because motoring is fun and it just brings us a level of community engagement that has probably been missing for a while due to lockdowns and COVID-19.
Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup here on the EAC News Channel. For more breaking news and updates, check out our website, eacnews.asia, or search EAC News on Telegram or at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We'll see you then.